Right, people, welcome back. It's good to be back in the studio once again with my friend Joel Beya. And do you know what we've decided, right, for this episode? We're going to try and keep it as recent as possible. So we're only going to speak about like last game Chelsea have played and whatnot. We won't go any further back than that. Nothing really to touch on there, is there?
Well, it's funny because you've been on holiday, right, with your family like a good man. But I think I spoke to you more last week more than I have done ever.
Yeah, I think that goes for all my non-Chelsea supporting friends did actually. Everyone was checking in. It was good.
Because it's a big game, you know. I know we're focusing on today and I know what the result was. But I'm not one of those guys that think, oh, just because Chelsea are in bad shape, that we'll roll them over. I mean, we did in the end, but I'll tell you what, I was nervous beforehand.
I felt like we were going to come to you and get a draw. That's what I thought. But obviously on the day of the game, the injury news comes out. If they just said we were without Malo Gusto, I would be like, that's really...
Is it that thin, you reckon? Like, because obviously when Palmer was out, I was jumping
for anyone
joy.
that doesn't know, Gusto and Cole Palmer are both out injured for the game. They're not going to be playing. For me, personally, that is Chelsea at the minute. It's our right-hand side of Malo Gusto and Cole Palmer. I'm not saying the other boys aren't chipping in. I've actually been quite impressed by Caicedo and a few others in recent games, but, you know, barring the Arsenal game. But what I would say is, if you take Malo Gusto out our side, we're a different team. If you take him and Cole Palmer out our side, might as well not turn up, to be honest.
So what do you do when Reece James comes back then?
I've spent a long time thinking about what we do when Reece James comes back, and the obvious option for me, I think Reece James in midfield. I think we're one body short in midfield in terms of a central midfielder, and I think maybe a Reece James we could potentially look at there. I don't know,
that
like,
twisting and turning in the middle,
more at right back, isn't there?
Well, it's more direct, isn't it? You kind of know, nah.
I don't know. I feel like he does a lot of running at right back. I feel like maybe he would cover less ground there. I'm not sure, to be honest. What I would probably say happens is either one or two things: a formation change, and we go to a three at the back. Malo Gusto stays as like the right wing back, and Reece James comes over as a right centre back. I think he could definitely play that role and do well there. Yeah. Or potentially you just keep Reece James at right back. You stick Malo Gusto at left back.
Okay, and see how that works out.
Yeah, I think Malo Gusto for the...
Who's playing there right now? Is it Cucurella?
Cucurella at the minute. Obviously, Chilwell came back from injuries, in and out of injuries all the time. But Chilwell hasn't been impressive, really, since he came back. So I'm not sure in how good a shape he's actually in at the moment. But if not, Cucurella, I feel quite safe with Cucurella playing there, which is one of my sort of bigger contradictions I've made since doing this whole podcasting thing.
I've got a list of them, by the way.
Yeah.
You say one, but I've got a list of yours.
Let's not get down with the details, mate. Listen, Chelsea against... So have you got it off your chest with Chelsea Arsenal? Yeah,
Chelsea Arsenal's cool because I'm more waiting for like Abby Summers to come in and Toby tapping Tobes. I need to introduce you to him, by the way. Really good guy. He's a Spurs fan. Yeah, I'm more waiting to speak to them after the weekend result because I think that meant a lot.
Well, you were surprised with what I just told you off camera, weren't you? Big game tomorrow night, Chelsea against Tottenham, because if we beat Spurs by the end of the weekend, it is mathematically possible for us to go up to 6th.
It's mad, isn't it? Yeah. It's crazy because you think of all the smoke that's been blown, especially in the beginning of the season with Newcastle. You know, obviously, I think West Ham have done really well, if I'm honest, but all these other teams, I would have never thought that there's a strong possibility that you'll finish top 6, especially after season you've had.
Well, you know what it is here? If you actually look at those teams above us, take away the billion spent, and no one wants to do that. Everyone wants to talk about the billion. Let's not talk about the billion. Look at the sides above us. West Ham, Newcastle, Man United. Yeah? Who out of those three teams have had a better season than us?
I'll be honest. I do think... If I'm to be totally honest, I do think Newcastle had a good start. West
decent
Ham have
start.
been
Newcastle
up
had a
and down.
ropey 4 months or so, and I get, they had the injuries, they weren't able to reinvest. I understand that. West Ham had, I could be proved wrong here, I can't remember, but I feel like they had quite a decent start. Yeah, I feel like they had quite a decent start, and they've dropped off. I see them dropping down even more. Man United, I'm telling you now, I'd rather be a Chelsea fan this season than a Man United fan.
It's mad with United, isn't it? Because they're 6th, and it's by 1 point, obviously, ahead of Newcastle, and bro, they have been abysmal, man.
I can't think of good Man United performances.
They've been popped around probably the Liverpool games. That's probably their best.
Do you think we deserve to finish above them?
I think you're the same.
I don't feel in this little bit of the table.
I think you're the same. If I'm to be really honest, I think. Do you know what it is? Is that there's the expectations with both your clubs. Let's be honest with you. Like big clubs, innit? Like history. It's obviously United. Like dominated the Premier League. Especially the difference is with United. I kind of go, I don't know when this is all going to finish. The difference is with Chelsea, I've seen you in this situation before. Yes, it was with Roman Abramovich, but I've seen you bounce back from sacking Mourinho, finishing in a bad place, getting in Gus Hiddink as the interim managers. I've seen you have these up and down seasons and then go win the Europa the next year with Benitez. Like I've seen you do a whole heap of stuff with United. I don't think I've ever seen them this bad, not only on the pitch but off the pitch as well. I just don't know when they mock Arsenal when they go, oh yeah, it's been 21 years since you've won anything, blah blah blah. But United are heading the same direction, man.
Yeah, anything significant, definitely. I tell you what, they'd have a better chance of winning something if they do go and get Tommy Tuchel in, because that's what we're hearing at the moment. We're hearing in the media that he is looking for a return to the Premier League potentially. That could either be with Chelsea or with Man United.
Would you take him back at Chelsea
over Poch? Yeah. I'd take a lot of people over Poch, to be honest. Would I take Potter back? Oh,
would you?
Nah, I'd keep Pochettino.
Who else? Obviously, Joe.
Funny, right? I'm on the train this morning, and I got a fella sat opposite me, and like I've looked up a few times, and he's like, and I'm thinking,
Joey loves it.
I'm thinking the
algorithm. Algorithm.
I'm so a million miles off that point where I'm just going to assume these sort of things. So I'm just like,
waiting.
And then I waited at the end. And are you Joey? And I went, what's happening? And he went, yeah. And then he asked me, right? He turned to me, who would you have instead of Poch? I said, mate, it is slim pickings. Like if you said to me now, Poch or Ruben Amorim, I'd probably go, I'll have a bit of Ruben Amorim, yeah. Do you know anything about him? No. Do you know what formation he plays? No. But I'll have him.
Can't go. It's almost like you go, well, can it get any worse?
Portuguese, young, Mourinho vibes. That's about the insight you're going to get off this channel. It's true though, isn't it?
It's so funny because you know what I love about that is because everyone wants to pretend that they know so much. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like the best way to be is just to be completely honest.
Yeah,
like completely honest.
Listen, if you don't, you get found out. This game, Chelsea against Spurs. Now, obviously, Spurs are going to be fired up. They're coming in off the back of losing a North London derby. Now they're going to want to win a London derby, right? And realistically, if you're looking at the table now, if you're talking about, I don't know, a few teams that went out of European football fairly early, you went out fairly early, didn't you?
When? This year?
This year. European football.
What are you talking about?
Well, you went out to Bayern Munich quarterfinals, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty early.
Pretty early, isn't it?
That's knockout stages.
When was the last time?
It was only 2 weeks ago we played, mate.
When was the last time
2 weeks
Arsenal
ago.
got past the quarterfinal in Europe? Do you know?
Nah, we're not talking about it. We don't want to get into specifics.
But either way, because of teams like Arsenal, and others, teams like Arsenal and Man United
City.
And the rest of them, City, yeah. It's only Villa flying the flag high. But because all of these boys went out of Europe early, the coefficient has been mucked up, so we ain't got the fifth spot now.
Do you reckon you would have got? You could finish fifth?
Nah, we wouldn't have finished fifth. But what I'm saying is Tottenham are fifth, and Tottenham have been sitting there probably thinking all season it's all right.
Get fifth.
It's at silly season stage where everyone's dropping points left, right, and centre, and even if we get fifth, we'll probably get into the Champions League. Well, that is not now an option for them. So Tottenham more than ever need to be winning this game.
What country has it gone to? The coefficient?
Germany, I think.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, I don't know that though.
To be honest, I heard it as well. That's in Germany, but I wasn't 100% sure.
So if you look at it, Villa are in the hot seat, but they have got to play Brighton, they got to play Liverpool, they got to play Palace, and that means,
bro, they've got it.
What, Villa?
Villa have got 4th. We know Andy and
Brighton away.
Yeah.
It's not an easy game,
Brighton
is it?
Away, mate, come on. They've not been tops this season, Brighton.
Who, Brighton?
Yeah.
They've been rubbish.
Yeah.
Liverpool.
What are they playing for?
They beat Villa 3-0 earlier on in the season. And
what are Liverpool playing for? I mean, a draw. If they get a draw, Klopp and a draw.
Did you see the lip reading?
What
the Klopp Salah thing?
What the Mo Salah? I thought it was all about. I saw the beginning of that footage.
7 years of service.
Is that what he said? Because he went for the hug, didn't he?
Mate.
He went for the come on, Klopp does the whole do a job for me.
If I was Salah, I'd be fuming. Because I was saying this, right? We was talking on the kickoff about this. This movie might be called the Jurgen Klopp farewell tale, yeah. But Salah's the main character, and you're trying to shoot the final scene without him. It's like, mate, do you know he's played about 65% of the minutes available to him since coming back from the African Cup of Nations. He keeps getting brought off as a sub. He completes. I think I looked at it. It was something like the last 6 matches he's completed the full 90 twice.
But he's been rubbish though. This is the thing, yeah.
So Rashford, United start him every week.
No, but that's United. They've got their own problems over there.
Odegaard was a bit rubbish for a 10-game spell this season. You still started him.
But that's Arsenal. We don't have the same depth as Liverpool. You see, Jurgen Klopp has earned the right to do what the bloody heck he wants. As big as Salah is, Jurgen Klopp is bigger. So see what I mean?
So what wins you more games and gets you more goals? A rubbish Mo Salah or an on-form Darwin Núñez?
You're right. I don't think you're wrong. You are right, because it's not as if they're whoever's coming on. I mean, don't get me wrong, Harvey Elliott, he's good. He changes things in games. But you're right, But I just think hindsight is one thing, innit? It's not the time to be doing that.
Yeah.
That's all it is,
He should have done.
Maybe Mo feels embarrassed as well, because he's thinking, I'm an elite player here, and you're basically ruining my career, not only my service, but you're actually ruining my career now. You don't have to do this. So I get both sides. I just think there's a better place to do it.
And as well, I reckon Salah probably knows that it's his last season there as well.
Apparently he's staying for a year. We need to get this confirmed, but apparently he's staying for one more year. I thought he was gone Saudi straight away, signed off. I thought he's playing like he signed to go over there, but apparently he's staying for one more year. Let me know what you guys have heard yourself in the comments.
You know what he should have done? Should have stayed at Chelsea, mate. We'd have never done all that, bringing him off, not giving him starts.
Yeah.
Bang out of order. Yeah. Chelsea Spurs. Where do you think, on your sort of experience from playing them a couple of days ago, do you think they're gettable, Spurs? Do you think they are what they were earlier on in the season, when they were obviously proving hard to beat before the wheels started to fall off? Which, by the way, there was wheels very firmly fell off when Tottenham played Chelsea. Obviously, we beat them 4-1. That was a good result there for us. It was a 4-1 that could have been an 8-1. It could have been a 4-all. It was a crazy game.
One of the best games I've seen all season for a long time. I say all season. That was a wicked game.
That was the coming of Nicholas Jackson, the announcement. So we're going to need him to get us a few goals. What do you think? Do you think Chelsea will win this game, or do you see enough in Spurs?
Was it? Is it?
It's at the Bridge.
The Bridge.
Tomorrow I'm going to be there. Yeah,
bro. I reckon we took their soul on Sunday. We took their soul, bro. Like, you see, with Chelsea, you kind of had something to play for, but you kind of didn't. So it was and it was away. I think the way we basically put a nail in their Champions League dreams, because they're not going to win the City game. In fact, I got people like Toby and all these Spurs fans saying they're happy to throw that game away. In my opinion, Chelsea will come out. I'll even predict the score, and I'll say 3-2. 3-2 Chelsea versus Spurs. I just think we took their soul away, bro. And you know what it's like with footballers. If they feel like they don't have as much to play for, the morale it drops by like 25%. And in elite football, that's a lot of percentages.
Well, do you know what as well? Like, I feel the chances are very, very slim that they're going to drop below where they are. In fact, in the table, I don't even know if they can. So, like you say, they almost have got nothing to play for.
Yeah.
That could be a recipe for disaster. And when we say they've got nothing to play for, they've got pride to play for. You know that the Spurs, that everyone at the club, the fans, it left a bitter sort of taste in their mouth after we beat them. I think they went 4 without a win, four losses on the trot, maybe it was, or something like that. So
I don't know if they've got that much pride in them, though, man. I don't. I really don't. If I'm honest with you,
nearly came back against you boys, didn't they?
Nearly came back, and I think that was more our own doing.
Yeah.
Because I think Declan Rice obviously kicks him. That was the penalty. But their first goal, I just look and I just go, we kind of came out second half as if the game was done.
Yeah.
We did a Coventry, Man United versus Coventry. Don't want to talk about FA Cup, do we? But you should have won that game. By the way, I thought you guys were the better.
Should have won a lot of games.
Yeah, I thought you
should have won a lot of games this season. I think that we're going to turn Spurs over. I think it's going to be. Do you know what? Weeknights at the Bridge. Just never really disappoint. Last time I went to a weeknight game at Stamford Bridge was 6-0 Everton.
Say hello. Look at how we are winning.
What's going on?
Man, you know what?
Good?
Mate, I gotta give you a hug because we're suffering, man.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
It's all good. Subscribe.
Yeah,
man, 6-0. So that was a pretty good one. We got Cole Palmer back in there for this one. Hopefully, the team is.
That was Harry Pinero, by the way, just in case you didn't know.
Big dog,
big YouTuber.
Yeah,
Joey's mate. Yeah.
The team's looking thin.
Yeah.
You boys have had it so easy with injuries this season. Timber, you've had him out, and I tell you what, see that goal he scored in was it the under-21?
Mate, there was some skits going around. There's a skit going around where he's sitting down showing Gabriel Jesus the goal, showing him that's how you do it.
Quality.
Really good player.
It's like a good player. You've had him out for pretty much all the season.
Yeah.
Well, all the season. It was the first game.
I think was it the first game? Was it the Community Shield?
No, I think it was the first league game. Started with him at left back. So, so either way, listen, you've had one injury. We have not had one match week where we've had less than 7 injuries, right? At the moment, we've got about 11.
Yeah, but you guys have got like 2-3 squads though, so that should be all right, no?
Yeah, but mate, like if I showed you the injured 11,
and Nkunku and like key players,
Reece James, Levi Colwell, like potentially we're talking about these centre back partnerships, and these pairings. Colwell and Fofana could be the one. Because if you look at Colwell at Brighton last season, you look at Fofana from when we signed him at Leicester, you stick them two, and if they gel and if it works, wow, like that's. We look at Disasi and Badiashile, there's mistakes in both of them. I don't see that from Colwell and Fofana.
Do you think that's also a confidence thing though? Because you think if, let's just say, you had those other two, you'll start seeing a different side to them. Because I do watch Chelsea, but I don't watch them as much as you. I really like Badiashile. I think there's a lot of potential in there. I do see the mistakes in Disasi. I like the fact that he looks like he's hungry and he fights for things, but he probably needs to be a little bit better technically. Do you think Badiashile doesn't have more potential than both of them?
I do,
and Fofana?
I do, and I feel like when Badiashile came to us and he came in the January window and we had sort of 6 months of him before the end of last season, he looked class, he looked composed, and maybe that's because the defence was better last season. There wasn't those mistakes in there. Disasi, I'm holding out a bit of hope for. I don't think he's one of our better ones, and I think he's definitely the one that will make the most mistakes. But I'm holding out a bit of hope because he does remind me a little bit of when Rudiger first came. Rudiger in the first season, I remember thinking, this boy
is not going to be what he is, isn't he?
No way.
100. I'm with you 100%.
And then he flipped it. So
he's now the best centre back in the world. Like I don't know what you guys did there. Sorry, but I just don't understand why you didn't just increase, from what I'm hearing, increase the contract. And you've gone out there, you've got Koulibaly, who
that was a bad signing.
You spent more money, more wages on a worse.
Do you know what the Koulibaly signing was? It was like the Wesley Sneijder signing that never happened. It used to get rumoured every window. And then it's like, Yeah, no, but it started getting rumoured when Schneider was 24. Now he's 30 and you're still rumouring it. There's no point doing it now. And the Koulibaly one's the same. We started getting linked with Koulibaly in about 2012. Didn't bring him here for about 8 years. It was ridiculous, mate. He was getting linked with him for... Another man we've been linked with, and this is what I want to cap it off on because I want to speak about this one. Jack Grealish to Chelsea. You seen this?
No.
We've been getting linked with him. Like a lot of the... Maybe the more credible ones have started to link
so
it in the media.
You move on Sterling again for it and put him there.
I mean, it seems like I don't know. Sterling plays left wing for us. If not, it's Mudryk. We've got a player that I think could deliver.
How much money are you trying to spend on that left hand side?
However much it takes. No, but like we've got a player there, yeah, Ian Matson. Okay,
oh yeah,
he's a left back, but you know Mauricio Pochettino was playing him left wing for a little bit. He's out on loan at Borussia Dortmund. He's absolutely smashing it. I think there's an option in the contract for them to buy him for about 35 million. And then what will we do? Go and spend that plus 10, 45 million or something on another player to go in that position that isn't, even with Grealish, like 29 years old now. No, 28 years old, 29 years old by the start of the season. I don't mind that. I'm not one of these Chelsea fans. I don't think there's many of them actually that think, oh no, we only want young players. We want some older players in there.
Some experience.
Is Grealish the one? No, he's not, is he?
Do you know why? Because unless you're going to have Grealish playing the same way he played in Villa, where he's the main man and everything goes through there, I feel like Chelsea, as bad as they've been in parts during this season, I think you're still too good for that. And I think Cole Palmer is the guy that should have the license. It's his team, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it should be. You know, I think if you're going to build and you're building for the long term, build it around Cole Palmer. Don't come and just, you know, all of a sudden you flip the attention to Grealish and then he starts slowing play down. And then, you know, is Cole Palmer the late arriver in the box? I don't know about that, man.
I don't think we need to be going and signing a winger for any sort of money, let alone big money, to be honest. I think if we're looking at bringing that experience in, I think you go, right, maybe a central midfielder, Paulinho, maybe someone else. You're going to have to get another centre-back and then eventually get a number 9.
Is he on the book? Is he on the radar?
He's on my radar.
You're not wrong, but I didn't... You know what? I don't know why I never thought of that.
Paulinho. And obviously, Bayern Munich were looking at him for whatever reason. That now didn't happen. You haven't heard about him linked with many of the other teams, and I think you can get him for 50 mil, which... Look, it's not cheap, but you know we could probably
it's all right for Chelsea.
It's all right for Chelsea. We could probably go and do it. We got some money coming in, so let's see how that one unfolds. People, thank you very much for making it round to the end of another episode. Do me a massive favour, head over to Joel's Instagram. The handles are somewhere down here, aren't they? Give him a follow. We will see you next week.
Peace.